So we closed on the property yesterday, and it was a few things I want to go over to show you guys. Is a few things you need to have in place before going to closing and making sure that the closing goes smoothly and everything is set in stone. So a few things. So before you're ready to close on this property, you're going to need to meet with your contractors, like I said I've done, and come up with some kind of scope of work. And this is the contract and the scope of work that I have with my contractors. It's basically a scope saying what exactly we will be doing, how much we will be paying them, and a timeline that they have to do it. So this is our general contractors a contract. It's basically the scope of work. This is just a few things that they're going to be doing, the phases in which they will be doing. So phase one, of course, is demolition. This is when they demo the entire house, and then after demo they will get paid a draw for the amount we agree to, and then they will move to phase two. Our general contractor, we only use them to do demolition, drywall, just kind of general contractor kind of work. We have our own plumber, we have our own HVAC guy, and we have our own electrician that's separate from our general contractor. And you just want to make sure you get their signatures and a timeline. So you want to have this in place before closing. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we put in a new bathroom and we're opening up a porch. So it's going to require us to hire an architect, in which I had to get some drawings made. So we got to pull permits with the county. So in order to pull permits, we have to have these drawings to submit to the county in order to get our permits. And as you can see, this shows us. This is drawings from an architect showing us, us opening up the porch and things of that nature. You also want to make sure you got the money. So a lot of people ask me, do you pay cash for these houses? And of course I don't. I'm not going to be spending almost $200,000 out of my pocket to pay for these properties. So I use a lender. And with that, I'm responsible for closing costs. I'm responsible to pay a few points. And that's about it. Probably a few other little fees and things, but I had to come to the closing table basically with $33,000 to buy this house, and the lender funded the remainder of the balance. You can use private lenders, hard money lenders. It's real easy to find. You just Google, and you can just Google in your city, hard money lenders in Virginia, hard money lenders in Philadelphia, or private lenders in Philly, and a bunch of come up, and you just have to do your due diligence and research on who you should go with. You want to make sure you get title insurance on all your properties. That's what this is. You also want to make sure you get building insurance as well for the actual building in case something happened. Our settlement statement. Don't want to give you my address and things like that, but as you can see, this is the money. Like I said, we had to come to the table with the $33,000. That was pretty much everything I wanted to show you guys. It's just a few things. A lot of times they don't show you behind the scenes that you have to have done, and it can be time consuming. It costs money to get these drawings. It costs money to get site plans. And again, when you're doing structural things to a building or adding bathrooms, messing with the electric and everything, you have to pull permits. You have to go to the county and pull permits for these things. So it's very important that you have this paperwork and these plans in place, so when you do close, you don't have a whole lot of this empty time where contractors are not doing nothing, because every day that this property is on the market is costing me money. So I want to make sure I have everything in place to get these guys to start work fast. And if you try to do a renovation without pulling the proper permits, you do have a risk of the county, putting a stop work to your project, which you don't want. So some investors don't do it, some do. Do your due diligence, and you weigh the risk, and you figure out if you want to pull permits or not yourself. I'm not saying you have to do them all the time, but legally you should. I'm not going to say I do it all the time, but just like I said, you gotta weigh your risk, and it's ultimately your decision and your risk. So just wanted to share that with you. Thanks.